Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of the J&J Toy Giants YouTube channel Toy Unboxing. I am your host JD, and today I'm going to be going over a mixture of type of figures. They're not all just for one franchise, so I'm very excited because I haven't done these particular figures. One of them I've never collected ever, and I kind of convinced myself that I need it, if you can believe that kind of wacky thinking. But today I'm going to be going over with you guys the DC McFarlane Multiverse animated series Batman, which is my very first of this line. I haven't collected any of these lines before, and I'll explain why. I'm also going to be going over the re-releases of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raphael, because I actually do not have a Raphael. I have Michelangelo and I have Leonardo, but I don't have Raphael. I'm still in the hunt for Donatello, so I'm going to be going over these two, as well as the Marvel Legends White Vision. I haven't done a Marvel Legend in a little bit, so I've actually been wanting to get this since I saw the show from WandaVision. And of course, it's part of the Build-A-Figure for the wings for the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. So right now I'm only missing Wanda, U.S. Agent, and Baron Zemo. So those three are the only one that I'm missing, because I have Loki, I have Captain America, I have Winter Soldier, and those are the ones that I have right now. So definitely excited to let this bad boy breathe. So just like I just said, we're gonna let him breathe.
A weapon to be more easily controlled. But certainly you are the true vision for you believe yourself to be. That was once the case.
All right, so we're going to start off with the White Vision from the WandaVision Disney Plus series. And obviously, spoiler alert, in this show, obviously Vision is still dead from Infinity War. And Wanda basically creates Vision again in her mind in Westview. I believe it was still Westview, New Jersey. And the government basically, or SWORD, I should say, that was the name of the organization that kind of took over for S.H.I.E.L.D., used the remains of Vision to be able to recreate the White Vision, which is kind of like an evil version of Vision. But then I guess in the comics he was reborn after the original Vision with the green and the red face, and all that. He became good again after a while, but this is actually the exact same sculpt of Vision, but it's all white, so it's pretty easy to kind of go over as far as the articulation is the same from the other Vision. I wish I had the other Vision that came as a 2-pack with the Infinity War of with Wanda Maximoff in that series. So it comes with some extra hands. I actually kept the original hand that came in the package. Those look pretty good. And they also come with the new Captain America shield. I apologize. I had a really bad hangnail and it was bleeding, so I apologize. It was really gross. But it comes with the new Captain America wings for Sam. So it's kind of like a Build-A-Figure with series with the new Captain America wings. So I think I'm missing... What am I missing? I'm missing... so I'm missing Scarlet Witch, U.S. Agent, and Baron Zemo. And then at that point in time, I would have had all of the actual pieces that I need to make Cap Shield. Very unique way of doing the actual cape, so it's not soft goods. It's all molded, and I don't believe this can be taken off. I mean, obviously, yeah, you can probably take it off if you take the head off, but why would you want to do that? Very self-explanatory. They had to actually kind of make it of their own on the actual show. I don't remember these being cream colored in the show. I know they probably made it just because they really weren't able to get the actual color that they needed from the actual show. So, I mean, it gets close. As sometimes you look at this type of a color, it's like, oh, well, this has been either in a box somewhere for a very long time and it got like discoloration, because white does that after a while. You know, if it's not kept clean, or if it's not in a good area, or if it's just old, it gets discolored really easy. So that's something that at first you probably looked like, oh, this is pretty old, but it's not, just the way that it was made. But I like it. I like it a lot. I'm trying to slowly but surely finish this Build-A-Figure set so I can get Captain America's wings, and then I can display it with the wings. But yeah, let's go to the next one.
Indeed he is. If you want to see him again, you'll have to come in.
It's gotta be a trap.
I hate it when he says that.
Into your humanoid form, you owe everything to me. Don't deny your destiny. Join me.
Does the phrase, go suck a lemon, hold any meaning for you?
All right, so the next one we're going to be going over is Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, made by Playmates. These are re-releases. They've most recently were doing re-releases for these figures, and actually even their vehicles too. So you can see that the party van has been released, even the actual blimp, which was awesome. And so I've been slowly but surely trying to collect these. I had these when I was a kid, and they were my childhood, you know, personified, because I just loved this particular cartoon. I wasn't a big, you know, fan of the comics just because I didn't read them a lot. And so, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon is what, and the movie is what kind of like got me to be a fan. So obviously these look exactly like the originals, and they actually have an ultimate of these, but the pricing is just a little out of my wheelhouse, so I won't be able to get these ultimates. Even the original ones that came out, the first edition ones, are like super expensive now. Even when they were first coming out, they were still pretty expensive. So I'm just missing Donatello. I already have Leonardo and Michelangelo. A good dude out of the Fig Cave Facebook group was selling a lot, and he had Michelangelo and Leonardo mock. So that's pretty cool. I was able to, you know, unbox those. And I don't even know if I did a review on that. I gotta do research to see if I did a review on that. And if not, I'll probably do a Who's Lucy, since I already unboxed these. But obviously they come with the standard weapons, just like they did originally. So even though in the cartoon they didn't have all these extra weapons, I mean, they had ninja stars, but that's about it. Articulation is the same, and the face paint the same, just like they were. And I'm gonna put in a picture of the actual original one that came out in the late 80s, early 90s, and you can see that, you know, pretty much looks the same. Obviously they just re-released, the molds are the same, it's just they did reproduced. So that's still made by Playmates. Playmates, I believe, is still in business. There are some old manufacturers like Kenner, and the one that Kenner comes to mind because they were bought out by Hasbro. But they still do some re-releases of like Star Wars Kenner stuff. But Kenner's no longer in business, so now it's under Hasbro. But Playmates is actually still in business doing these, and obviously they're making a lot of money now because of all the collectors recollecting these now. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting there. I'm gonna just I'll put a new picture up of my collection that I have so far of my turtle stuff that I've done some reviews on in the past. If you have not seen any of my other stuff, especially with the NECA and the cartoon turtles, I had some bootlegs that I bought, so definitely want to check those out. But yeah, definitely loving this particular figure, so let's go to the next one.
Now, about Zuko.
No way. I ain't no squealer. You get nothing out of me. You hear? Nothing.
All right, finally, we're going to be going over the DC Multiverse from McFarlane Toys, the animated series Batman: The Dark Knight. This is very influential in my childhood because when I was like 5th grade, I would say, 5th grade, going into junior high, this particular cartoon was on Fox every afternoon, and on Saturday mornings a little bit later on Fox, and it was very influential for animation in and of itself because back before that there really wasn't anything as far as animation that we had for Batman that people took seriously. I mean, obviously the comics were doing okay, but after the 60s of the Adam West Batman, which was a lot more campy and not a lot of people took it seriously, but us as kids were like, that's all we had at that point in time. And then came in the 80s, when I was a little kid, was the Super Friends, which still had that kind of like 60s Batman look, very campy, because back then in the 80s you really couldn't have a lot of violence, which this cartoon did have. And they kind of like have a little bit of a backlash during that time as well, where the Fox board of directors, as far as like their standards and practices, was always with the writers and the animators, make sure that they weren't violating their standards and practices as far as like violence and kids TV shows and stuff like that. So it was very like touch and go. This actually was a trendsetter, because after this became successful, then the Superman, the Adventures of Superman, that also was in the DC style or animated series style, like this came, and then Batman Beyond, and then so this basically was a trendsetter on how animated series are as far as like action and superheroes are today. So this particular figure comes with the trading card, and on the back it shows Batman the Animated Series. So that's basically what this is depicting. It's from 1992. So it's height, weight, and a little bit about the character, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, if you're a trading card collector, this is something you want to, preserve as well. You maybe need to, can sell these if people are looking for those. They do come with some extra hands, and it comes with his iconic grappling hook and his batarang. But yeah, I mean, essentially this is actually, I for the longest time I wasn't going to collect these. I don't know what it was. It's just something about the other ones, the multiverse ones, that just didn't appeal to me. And then I kind of like talked myself into getting only the animated series version of these. So I'm not getting any other ones. That's kind of like the rule that I set myself, was I was only going to get the animated series ones. So obviously Superman, Flash, I think Cyborg is out there for Teen Titans, and not other ones come to mind. I think it might be a Lex Luthor animated series one, but I still have to like take a look at it. There wasn't a Batman Beyond one out there in animated series, so I'm probably going to do the Batman Beyond one that they have out already, to kind of like have as a placeholder. So, but other than that, I mean, essentially this particular Batman, obviously it has a lot of articulation. It comes with its own stand. I had a bit of an issue trying to put this guy on the stand, as I had with all my other figures. I don't know why. But the paint job was actually pretty good. Just the bat signal is a little bit scuffed up. It was probably my own doing, trying to get this guy on the stand. But the sculpt on his face is pretty cool. And there's a lot of articulation. His arms won't bend, but it's probably because it's super cold in my room. It is during winter time. So I'm sure when it gets a lot hotter, the joints will be a little bit easier to be able to move. Or if I just take like a little blow dryer, is what I've been told from other collectors, that does help as far as like getting these to be able to move and articulate. But yeah, I mean, essentially the cape is actually not soft goods. It is a mold, and it does not come off, so it's kind of like on there. The articulation of the chest is pretty cool. My only concern is with the animation style, obviously just the way that their legs were drawn, they're a little bit non-proportional to the torso. So it is hard trying to get them to stand up straight sometimes. As I was saying, the actual torso was a little bit disproportionate from the legs, but the actual, like I said, the cape does not come off. But overall, I mean, it's a pretty good figure for almost kind of like a statue type thing. But I mean, obviously you can play with these. They're meant to be played with, but the collection or the collector like myself would like to just display these, you know, for what they are, and it's mostly just for nostalgic purposes. Not too many people that I know of in the younger generation even know what this particular Batman is. They've probably seen a version of him, maybe on like, I know Amazon Prime, you can watch these now, so they may have been introduced to, you know, they had like mom and dad or the brother that had their experiences with this particular cartoon. They're like, oh, you gotta check this out. So other than them, you know, the younger generation looking into that might be a reason why they would even know who this guy is. But the newer versions of the, like even the Justice League Unlimited, you know, were that was during the late 90s through the 2000s, early 2000s. They're all now grown up too. So, you know, this was the first iteration of the Batman we know as the animated series Batman. You know, the Mark Hamill Joker, and Bruce Timm also played the voice, but also the voice that did the voice of Batman, his name escapes me for the moment. That's right, Kevin Conroy. But Bruce Timm also did play his voice later on. But Kevin Conroy has always been pretty much what we know as the animated series Batman voice, and he obviously has done a lot of the Arkham Asylum games and on the all of the consoles. But definitely it's a figure that I'm looking to you know, enjoy starting to collect, and it's pretty much it. This is a really straightforward figure. I love it. I'm glad that it's been in the box for the longest time. I haven't been able to really hunker down and open this up, but I'm glad I was able to finally do the review on this now. So thanks so very much. We'll be with you in a moment. Yes, my friends, that does it for this edition of the J&J Toy Giants YouTube channel Toy Unboxing. Again, I'm your host, JD. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also comment on any of our video submissions on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and also follow us on TikTok. Thank you so very much, and also keep checking that giveaway that we're doing for the 200 subscribers. Be sure to check on that giveaway that we're doing for 200 subscribers. I'm going to be leaving the rules on how to enter, and of course you can follow us on Instagram and find the post there. So thank you so very much, and keep on cruising. See you later.